Welcome to the ThunderCast, your Marshall Athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week. So keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose. Thanks for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast. You can follow us on Twitter at ThunderCast_pod and across many social media networks. You know where to find the show by now. We're on every major audio podcasting platform and, of course, on YouTube on the ThunderCast YouTube channel. We're going to get straight into this one today because we have one hell of a show lined up this afternoon, and I want to get straight into it. But you know, Russ, we can't do any of it until we pay some of these bills. So why don't you give me a word from our sponsors at Lazier Oliver, PLLC.
If you've been hurt in a wreck, call the law firm of Lazier Oliver, PLLC. Find them at 304carwreck.com.
Well, as you can see, we've got ourselves some VIPs in the building today. A little over a year ago, Gerald Harrison took over as Marshall's Vice President and Director of Athletics. And G, I don't think anybody can accuse you of easing into the job. There's been a lot happening around Marshall Athletics for the last 12 months. Some of it fans can already see. Some of it we'll start seeing in the fall, and some of it could have a much bigger impact on Marshall Athletics, on what Marshall Athletics looks like years from now. And all of it is happening at one of the most interesting, albeit probably most uncertain times in college athletics. The rules are changing. The money is changing. The way rosters are built is changing, and schools like Marshall are figuring out how to keep competing at a high level in the middle of all of it. So the timing felt pretty damn good to get the guy leading Marshall Athletics back on the show. We've had G on the ThunderCast before, and we've had plenty of conversations with him since then. So let's skip the long formal introduction. G, welcome back to the ThunderCast, man. It's good to have you.
Well, it's always great to spend time with you guys. I mean, I think my first podcast I did was with the ThunderCast. I started on the 15th of August. And so right now is a special time. We can think back about all the good things that happened. But I do remember starting on the ThunderCast. I remember watching a ThunderCast podcast, watching the podcast prior to even arriving on campus to get a little background. And so it's great, always great to be with you guys.
We certainly love having you here. We appreciate that.
And you have a heck of a tailgate.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's the best endorsement we're going to get all day, I think.
All right, everybody, we're going to close it down. That's all we needed today. No, I would like to start off. You already mentioned it's August 15th. We're almost day to day here from your first day of starting. So what accomplishment or change across the entire athletic department are you most proud of in your first year?
Wow, that's a tough one. I really think I'm most proud of how we've kind of re-emphasized the student-athlete experience. While we've tried to find something that we can be really special at here at Marshall. The passion's always been there. The success has been there. But I thought evaluating our student-athlete experience kind of got put back a little bit. It was on deck and not necessarily at bat. And we had to do that. And so when you look at what we've done in the Buck, you look at what we've done in areas of mental health and things like that for our student athletes, nutrition. Mm-hmm. I believe that is something that we've accomplished that I'm really proud of. And we did that pretty much immediately. We started working on that. And if it wasn't that, I think it's the other one is putting together the cabinet, the staff that we put together that is helping me kind of navigate through this stuff. I think we got a great team and the right energy level that is going to take to make Marshall what it can be. And that's the best, most complete athletics department, not just the Sun Belt in the country. And we got the people to do it, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, you know, you talk about this great cabinet and great people that are helping to elevate Marshall athletics, and I want to touch on something that hits really, really at the forefront of what's going on. And of course, I'm talking about the white paper that you recently co-authored, From the Mountains, Not the Sidelines, with President Brad Smith and Board of Governors Chair Kathy Eddy. If you guys haven't read that, you need to download and read that first and foremost. But one of the numbers that really jumped out to me was that institutional support currently accounts for about 54% of Marshall Athletics' budget. with a stated goal for you to move to a 50-50 model. Now, what does that 50-50 goal actually look like? Walk me through that math. Does that mean reducing the dollars that come from the university, or is the goal to grow revenue generated by athletics enough that the university's current investment simply becomes a smaller percentage of a larger overall pie?
Exactly. So first of all, I think when people hear this, it always comes like they're reducing your budget. That is not what we're talking about. President Smith and our board of governors are very supportive of intercollegiate athletics and what we're trying to do. What we're preparing for in the move to try to get to 50-50 is, you probably heard some people talk about the enrollment cliff, and there's less 18-year-olds in the country, and in West Virginia is actually going to be double what is going to be in the country. And so that means enrollment is going to have a challenge, and there's going to be some challenges that the university is going to have to meet. So the best way we can prepare for that is by increasing our revenues, by moving our number up. And we have a commitment from the university, they'll match it, what we're trying to do. So when you hear 50-50, it is just trying to be realistic in this day and age. We got to get our revenues up where we're not solely dependent on what the university can do, and where if there is a time, which I don't anticipate, but a time where we don't see the growth in enrollment like we're seeing right now, or there are some other challenges that we'll still be able to compete at a high level. If we were a school where 70% came from the institution, if the institution had a challenge, then we would find ourselves having to cut staff, reduce services, and do things like that. So we're trying to get ourselves to a point where we're protected from that, and we continue to go forward.
So first of all, a drop in institutional support is exactly what we were hoping you would say. That's not happening. This is not about that. No. So fans can walk back off the cliff a little bit. This is not what this is about. So if the primary goal is growth on the athletic side, where do you see those biggest opportunities to grow that athletics generated side?
Well, I think part of it is the modernization of our athletics department. And not throwing shade or shots at anybody previous, we operated ourselves a little bit like a mom and pop, and it wasn't with an eye on the future and where we needed to go. So it forces us to be more aggressive. Yes, we need more. We need to handle the blocking and tackling. We need to get more people in the venues. We need to sell more tickets, baseline. However, we need to get our philanthropy, can't even talk today, get our philanthropy up. Where we're getting more Big Green members, we're getting more people around that can support the folks and spread the wealth. Right now, a lot of our resources and philanthropy is coming from a small group of people. We have to increase that number. And that doesn't necessarily mean we need a lot of, don't get me wrong, I'll take a lot of 7-figure gifts. I'll take some 8-figure gifts if you got it. But what we need folks at the $100 level to come in and contribute, because we got to spread that number. And I think we can grow our Big Green number. I think we can grow our annual fund number and philanthropy. There's going to be a huge part. And number 3, when we started this year, you're seeing that we got to do more on the corporate sponsorship side. And actually, where we love local businesses and we love people to invest, a lot of stuff we were giving away, really not charging our value for it. And you see the relationship with the Jersey Patch, with Marshall Health Network, and some of the other things that are going to be announced here shortly. We're trying to modernize ourselves to make it better for our student athletes, to make it better for our fans, but to prepare us and build us for a long, sustainable future.
So you spoke about the Big Green growth, and we've been beating that drum since the day we started this podcast publicly, and we've been doing it privately before that. Let's talk just briefly about those numbers. $100 a year for the minimum. And you, thanks to the vendors and business owners in the community in the tri-state area, and with Perks Connect countrywide, where people can make back more than the $100 that they're giving in discounts. So it's a huge value. And you're helping scholarship athletes here. It helps offset to where the Big Green can spend that money elsewhere. We can compete at higher levels, all that. But let's talk numbers. $100 and 1,000 people join the Big Green. That's an extra $100,000. And if someone came around right now and said, I want to write a $100,000 check, it would be newsworthy. I think
It would be.
you would think that would be in the media. Someone donated $100,000 toward this project. So us fans right now can give $8.33 a month, which is $100 on the year, join in the Big Green, get on all of those perks, helping Marshall out. Talk to your tax advisor, but it can be a write-off, at least partially, all those benefits, and you would be doing something, your part, to be newsworthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. It is something to celebrate. One thing I've talked about, every opportunity that we're successful, everything that we do, we should celebrate it. And if we can increase our membership in the Big Green, that is something to celebrate. That is something to play Thunderstruck for. That is a great thing. Because if you look at $100,000 right now, using the example that you gave, $100,000 would feed one of our teams for a season. $100,000 could help in revenue share, where we'd actually fund probably 5 student athletes in football or basketball or soccer or whatever else you want to do. So there's all these things that are out there that we could do because of your support. It could mean the opportunity for one of our teams to charter a flight on one of these cross conference trips instead of taking a bus or going through the airport and getting there and refreshed and give us a better chance to compete. So any donation, any members can help us do those things. I think sometimes people think, oh, I don't make that much of money, or I don't have that kind of spare money. Everybody's not built or not at a situation where they could give a 6- and 7-figure gift. But if you give a 3-figure gift, you are important to us. We will celebrate you, honor you, and you'll get some of it back. And our goal is, guess what? You give 100, we may do enough, and you see your investment and you like your investment. Next time you get a little more blessed, you get a raise where you give 250, and then see where it goes. And I think people forget that. It is not always about the biggest gifts. It is about what makes Herd Nation special is our numbers. They're strength in the herd because of the numbers. And so we need more people to be involved.
Yeah, last thing I'm going to say is you can't go to a fast food restaurant and spend $8.33 anymore. One meal a month, $8.33 is all it takes to get to your $100 minimum of the Big Green. And we just all need to do it. We need to pull our weight.
Yeah. I think this leads in perfectly to another I hate that I'm stuck with the non-fun questions, but this is important stuff. You're talking about growing the donor base. And I think first and foremost, we need to just keep pounding the drum that being a Big Green member is not for just the people that can stroke a big check. I can't do that. And I'm not shy about saying that, but I support in the ways that I can. Right. And I think that's all we're asking Marshall fans to do. But I'm going to go back to the white paper once again, and we're going to talk about a bigger message in that paper beyond Marshall's budget. And Marshall has historically won on the field by identifying talent, developing players, and competing against programs with significantly greater resources. But college athletics is becoming increasingly driven by financial scale. You can't run from it. So how does Marshall continue to compete nationally without trying to become something we're not?
The one word comes to mind: evolve. We have to evolve with the times. I understand there are going to be people that they're going to go run and hide from a budget standpoint. And that's okay. What we got to do is realize, you know what? If we can identify great talent like we've done in the past, like you talked about, we may not have them for 3 or 4 years like they used to be. But if we can get them and for 1 or 2 years and keep them here because of our great student athlete experience, and we will have a chance to compete. Now, does that mean that every time you roll out and we play Alabama or Ohio State or somebody like that? Yeah, that's going to be hard because they got players that are going to make more money than I make. And you sit on the bench. That's the reality. But does that mean we can't compete and win the Sun Belt? No. We're right there in our goal, and we talk about it in the white paper. We're going to be in the top third budget-wise. We're going to figure out how to do that. So we're always going to be able to compete for Sun Belt championships, especially in our major sports. And we're going to go do it. So we just have to evolve the process. What does it take? Understanding, guess what? We may have to get them developed a little bit faster. Our weight room program may have to change a little bit more because we may have to worry about the now and not lose talent. Days of red shirts are over anyway, right? With the 5 for 5, you got to play them. So we're going to play them, try to win championships with them, and then they can, go on and make that big check somewhere else. I understand it's disappointing, but it's a reality. I look at men's basketball, for an example, last year. We had a guard who we're the only I would say FBS offer, but really FBS basketball school offer he had. And now he's gone on. He played for us and played great and put us in a situation to be the second seed in the tournament. We had a chance to win the regular season. And he was a large part of that. He played well for us, and now he moved on to another institution for a significant check. Mm-hmm. That's just how you evolve. You realize that's going to happen, but that shouldn't stop you from going out and recruiting the best and the brightest. Mm-hmm. Because the big schools, these large money schools, they're just plucking from the top of the trees. That's right. What they're doing. So the ones that we got to develop are still there. The difference between now and today, you don't get them for 3 years. You may get them for 2, but it's okay if your mindset changes and if you evolve with the times. So I'm not afraid of that. I don't think we have to change who we are. We just got to evolve with how we do what we've been doing.
Are you concerned, Eddy, that if the financial divide between the haves and the have-nots continues to get bigger, if something doesn't happen, to prevent that, that we might be looking at 2 different levels of play? A lot of people say the Big Ten and SEC split off. Whatever scenario, yeah. Are you concerned, Eddy, that would happen and leave us at a different level?
Well, I think. Well, here's what I think, honestly, and this is from the book of Gerald Harrison, not from anywhere else. So you all, I'm pretty blunt. We need to go ahead and be where we are. Like, for example, if there's going to be let's say $300 million budgets. And then there's going to be all the way down to where we are. Some schools are not even at 12 in the FBS.
Right.
I'm okay if you want to take the 300s and the 300 to 175 and they go play for a trophy, and then the next level plays. And we have like high school. High school has class 4A, 5A, whatever. As long as we can play, we can continue to play each other in non-conference games and whatever else. I'm okay with that. I think we're being silly to try to fight to say, hey, you know what? I want to be with Ohio State and win the CFP playoff. They're not going to give us that. Mm-hmm. That's not a reality. They don't want us there. Right. James Madison was the fly in the ointment last year. They don't want that necessarily. So why are we fighting ourselves with it? I'm okay with saying as long as the money stays the same and we get to compete at a high level and still get some TV money and the CFP money or whatever. Let them play. Let them do what they want to do. But then take the ones that are like in $125 million and to the $50 million budgets and let them play because we can for a championship. And then let the ones below that play for a championship. It's life. I get it. I would love to play for them. And I want to play Penn State and Ohio State and Tennessee and everybody else. And we can still do that. Just like a 4A high school can play a 1A high school in non-conference. There's nothing. It's just when it comes down to the trophy, give us a chance to play for a trophy. But the key to it, the reason we don't do it now is because there's no guarantee that the CFP will continue to fund and give us that stipend that we get every year that we all need to survive. If they came up with a plan that would give you that stipend and we would get a piece of that pie, give me the does Marshall fans feel any different because they were the 1AA national champions in 96? No. They feel the same way. Whoever won the 90, I think Nebraska won the 96 BCS.
I know they won in 95.
95 maybe it was Florida. Yeah. I can't remember who won. Yeah. But whoever it was, anyway, that's a soapbox for me. I just think sometimes we're trying to fix something and join something that we can't reasonably do for a long time.
Quick aside, I think some of those schools are finding out right now because there's only so many that are the Ohio States and the Alabamas. Mm-hmm. Some of the others are trying to compete at that level, and they're finding out that they have run out of money quickly and can't sustain that. And they're maybe in the same conference. They're not in the same league, as it were.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And that's why I'm thinking you start looking at it from a budgetary standpoint and an investment standpoint, instead of looking at it as a conference standpoint. I think that's much more realistic, because if you go through all the A4 and start looking at what your investment level is, you're right. everybody in the Big Ten, everybody in the SEC ain't created equal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not. And so we started looking at it from a real lens of what you can invest, what your school can do, and put you in those levels. I think everybody be much more comfortable in competing. Until then, under these rules, we need stuff like the Protect College Sports Act. Like we're going to rely on Congress and stuff to make it fair until we wake up and realize that everybody ain't equal.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And probably the other thing we're dealing with is still fans wanting to push the genie back in the bottle, and that's just not going to happen. It's just it's out. It's out, and it's changing. It's not going back to the way it was. So.
It's just not. I mean, the money's too great. The game is too great. Once you throw gambling in and all that other stuff, it's too much going on to think that we're going to be able to be what we were 10 years ago. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
KD?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about something a little fun now because we've seen some cool stuff going on inside of Jones C. Edwards Stadium. It started last year with the Dutch Miller deck and the cool vantage points and all that comes along with that. This year, we're seeing the implementation of a new project called the Porch. I was fortunate enough to spend a little bit of time with Emily Suter and talk about that a little bit. And I want to get some perspective from you about it because these seem like really, really, really positive additions to the game day experience inside of Jones C. Edwards Stadium. So what have you learned from the response of the Dutch Miller deck, and what are you hoping the Porch just adds to an already really killer Marshall Thundering Herd game day experience?
What I learned, the first year, I think we all learned a lot with the deck, and I think the deck will be better this year, actually much better this year than it was last year. It got done kind of in the last minute, and we were trying to put it all together and promote it. We struggled at times with certain aspects of it. The views were great, but we learned more about food service and a number of bars and how to secure it. We've learned more, and so the Dutch Miller deck will be better than it ever been. The Porch has a chance to be something extremely special. We rolled that thing out, and if I'm correct, I think there was 33 people that called the same day that the AI graphic went out, which I always laugh because people fussed at us about using artificial intelligence to create that graphic. It did not stop us from selling it.
Not at all.
And we didn't have to pay somebody $10,000 to design it. So, budgets are tight. We're not hiring somebody to show us something we can already get. But we sold them really quick, and the people are really excited about it. I think it gives us a chance. Marshall has great tailgaters. Y'all are part of that. I call it tailgating in the stadium. So now you can watch the game. You got your grill. You got your area, your food. You got a refrigerator there. You got a heater. You got everything else. Everything's there you need. It's just like tailgating out of the stadium, but inside with 20 of your closest friends. And the one thing we thought about was the Dutch Miller deck's great, but because of the way the alcohol and stuff is run and a lot of reasons, we don't allow kids in the 18 and over. So the Porch is all ages because you're responsible for it's like your tailgate. You're responsible for what happens in there. And then we got the kids zone, which is going to be in that corner too. So you can sit there as a tailgate, enjoy your beer, your hot dog, whatever you bring, cook a burger, and then your kids can go right next door and play on the inflatables and whatever else in the Doe Daddy's family zone. Plus, on the other side, if you didn't bring the right stuff for your tailgate, you got the family concession stand and right by the family packed seats. So our goal is just to create an environment for everybody. We often talk about premium experiences and folks are like, oh, you're only catering to the wealthy or the whatever.
Right.
No, if you really break it down, we're catering to everybody. You just got to find where you fit. I mean, you come out a $10,000 porch and you got 20 people in it, you're not going to find a better deal than that in college football.
Yeah, we talk all the time about the family pack. It's $99 a seat, so it's $16.50 a game to go to, and that is a crazy good value. And the kids get to go to the Doe Daddies things, thanks to Doe Daddies that they have that area now. It's huge impact for the budget.
Yeah.
Big commitment to families, it looks like. Family seating again, coming back, family concessions coming back. These porches bring a family element inside the stadium that you usually have to leave behind on the west lot to come enjoy the game. So I love that Herd Family is now moving in a new direction and encompassing more people inside the Joan. That's really, really cool.
And I'll say this, and part of the reason I'm so big on this, I grew up in South Carolina, and my parents both went to South Carolina State, and they always had season tickets. And one thing, there was an area, it was the family zone. It was like Section M at the stadium at South Carolina State. I still am friends with people who sat in the kids that I grew up with in that section. And I can remember, I think the first girl I ever had a crush on was who sat in that section. And so I think that kind of stuff, those experiences, we can still have today. We can provide the high-end things with the suites and the deck and all these things, but we can still provide these other events and these other areas that create Herd Family for life. And that's part of what we're really emphasizing in this administration.
All right, G, we got a shock for you because we actually have that first crush of yours backstage right now.
I don't think Lisa Harrison will appreciate that at all.
No, I am not ringing that bell. I'm not going to.
I was about to say, well, this will be my last ThunderCast, as I would probably you can find me next to the memorial somewhere, as my wife tells me. So no, that's not.
So kind of breaking news the last couple of days, there was more announced about the Joan with the upgrades to the big green room. Would you like to talk about that briefly? Because that's kind of the same vein we're in right now about upgrades and things for fans.
Yeah, really excited about the upgrade to the big green room, giving full credit to Nyesha Campbell, our deputy director, who kind of walked in that room and said, we could do so much more. And so we listened to our fans who were complaining, because it's usually the people who have chairback seats have access to the big green room, and we weren't doing a great job of patrolling it. So basically you could buy a ticket anywhere in the stadium. If you walked in there, nobody would stop you. And so which led to a less of our experience for people who paid for that. So what we did now, we basically changed the carpet out, changed the floor, new lighting, modernized it a lot, put more couches and chairs in it. One thing that's unique, one side of the room has a buffet, and anybody with chairback seats can pay for a buffet to eat every game. But if you don't want that and you want to do a la carte, there's brand new concession stand items on the other side, just like if you went to an NFL game and sat in a club. So you're looking at like cheesesteaks and different hot foods and things that will be available for those people who have access to the big green room. And that's for every chairback seat holder has access to it. So you don't have to do anything extra to get into the new big green room. You buy your food if you want to, but if you want a buffet, then it obviously has a season or a per game price. So it's just another opportunity where we're not asking you to do much more. We just want you to enjoy what you're doing. And we want you to come have a good time in a modern environment that is fit for 2026 and beyond.
So without giving anything away, outside of Joan C. Edwards Stadium, are there some things we're working on with other venues around in Marshall's repertoire? Are we looking at things in the CAM or maybe down at the Vet or softball and baseball?
Yeah. So, there's a couple things that are new at the Vet, since soccer's coming first. We got a brand new 2020 club that's going to open up at the front of the stadium. It was down in the corner in the far end when you walk in the main gates. And really it was too cramped, and we couldn't provide the space and everything that we need. So now we moved it to the front of the stadium, and it's going to be, it's got lights, and it's really cool. And it's going to be awesome for everybody. And we also added more bleachers, more seats to where the old 2020 club was, because we do have a demand, especially for men's soccer, where we can support more seating without losing our atmosphere. Because I didn't want to do too much. We lost the fun atmosphere and the kids beating the drums and everybody running around, and so we still have that, but that'll be ready to go for the first men's soccer home game. In the CAM, it's a bunch. We got a new premium area called the Courtside Club, which is where Nobody really goes in there because it's an area right next to the basketball locker room that leads. There's a staircase that kind of leads up in a hallway that leads up to the men's basketball offices. We redone that, and that'll give you the opportunity not only to get beer, wine, hot dogs, whatever popcorn, stuff like that, but game day fare, I call it. You'll get that in there. But you also get the opportunity to high five. We're trying to create that image. You see, like when the Dallas Cowboys go out and they can high five. As a Giants fan, that just hurt me to talk about the Cowboys. But you can high five the players or see Coach Jackson or the team coming out. So that area will be open and available for people to purchase as an add-on to the ticket. So it's open to anybody. You can just add it on to your ticket. The Hartley Room is totally redone. If you were a member of the Hartley Club before, the Tip-Off Club, you kind of went in this room. It was underneath the bleachers. It's okay, but you kind of went into another hallway to get your food and came out. It's really old looking. Well, we've totally knocked down all those walls in there. New open bar area, new food service, hot foods in with heat lamps, not just sitting there in sternos, couches, wall-to-wall televisions, LED lights. That is going to be our premium area for basketball, and that's open for people to buy too as an add-on to the ticket. So you can do it if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But it is going to be that higher end area. On the concourse, we're doing different things. Another kid zone, family zone that we're putting in on the concourse level. Our new partner, Barnes & Noble, opening a new bookstore area that'll be there with more update, not just laying T-shirts on a counter you can buy. There's actually displays and the modern stuff that they just rolled out in the team store this week. You'll be able to get it when you come on the concourse. So there's a lot of different things that are going on in those three areas specifically.
Mm-hmm. Man, lots of opportunity. Lots.
The fan experience, if you look at our core values and our plan on the page, number 2 is fan experience and growing the herd. So we gotta don't put it on paper if you don't plan on doing it, right?
Love it. Yep.
Well, let's talk about something that got put on paper recently and was announced, and it's coming to fruition in the next few months and everything. It's the Ring of Honor. Got a lot of excitement when that was announced, the Legacy Initiative and that Legacy Weekend and everything. But I've seen a couple people online and heard them in person that are kind of confused about the Ring of Honor. There is, if I'm understanding, going to be a physical Ring of Honor in the facilities that people will see. Could you speak on that?
Well, absolutely. So the difference, we obviously have an Athletics Hall of Fame, but this takes nothing away. This is an addition to what we, like you said, it's called our Legacy Initiative. So all of that counts. And the Hall of Fame is still located in front of the Klein. And we're going to update it this year with the new Hall of Fame members that are being inducted on the 12th, at the Hall of Fame luncheon. The Ring of Honor, the difference is there will be a Ring of Honor in every venue. These things will be permanent displays. And so when you walk into the Joan on September 12th, there will be banners representing the names of the first 7 football, maybe 8. I can't remember. 7. 7 football names will be highlighted on those flag poles around the stadium. And you'll see that's the first ones. There's a place on the catwalk in the CAM, which will have the men's and women's basketball folks. There'll be flags in the baseball stadium, in the Jack. There'll be signs in the swimming and diving. So wherever I think it's special to recognize people where they competed. And it's not just great for those individuals. It's a constant reminder of our tradition, what we're doing currently, and where we're going. So any recruit that walks in, any young person that walk in, they can ask that question. Tell me about Byron Leftwich. Yeah. Tell me about the Hall of Fame's great, and it's all in, but it's all in that one spot.
Right. Yeah.
And this gives us a chance to recognize every one of our student athletes that live up to extraordinary careers, will be recognized in the venues. And then our folks, our current herd, can see them every day, and the future herd can aspire to be them.
Yep.
And so that's what we're trying to do with the Ring of Honor.
Yep. We've been talking about that for years. It's just unfortunate that that kind of thing was limited to banners hanging in the concourse outside the stadium in the concession areas, and you had to be looking for it to
Mhm.
see it. And if you were only on one side of the stadium all the time, you never even saw who was on the other side of the stadium. So now you get to go inside and you get to see Chad Pennington be honored and Randy Moss be honored and all these guys that sweat and sacrificed for us in the stands every Saturday. They're going to get their place in inside the stadium forever. And it's long overdue, but thank goodness you guys got it done. That is so awesome.
Well, we're looking at places to do it, and I was like, well, we got all these conference flags floating around the thing. I don't care about them. I care about the herd. And so let's figure out a way to get rid of most of those or move them. Yeah. And then because that may be a conference rule, we got to have them up somewhere. But they won't be flying over the stadium like these names will be in these banners. And have an opportunity to talk to these folks, a lot of these folks, and tell them that they're going in and listen to how proud they are of that. It just made me feel good. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, man. There's not much. Russ, what do you got left?
So this came up when the Ring of Honor was announced, but it seems like anything that is announced, this comes up. People online continue to ask or demand retire 88 for Randy Moss. And KD and I had the pleasure of breaking that news to the Thunder Trust listeners back in 2023 that was the plan. And some people still don't think that Marshall is trying to do this, but I know differently. And I think that we should stop trying to pressure Marshall because Marshall wants this to happen. Marshall just has to find out the best way that they can make it happen, if I understand everything with timing and everything, right?
Yeah, so here's the deal. One, Marshall, from the president's office to the athletics department to Coach Gibson, Randy Moss is the greatest wide receiver to play the game. We know that. We want to retire his number. If he listens, come on back, baby.
He listens every week, yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? I did, right? So no, we want to do it, but we're going to do it right. Like, I'm not going to rush out there and do something in absentia. We will work on it. We're going to get him. We're going to continue trying and doing the right things. But when we do it, it will be a celebration like none other. The Ring of Honor is the first step, and we will do it. So yes, you can # me on Twitter. Retire 88 is at the top of my list and on the things that we want to do, but we're going to do it the right way.
Yeah, you got to have him here. His schedule is busy during fall football. It's one of those things. But no, I've tried to educate some people that yes, it's been in the works, but I mean the guy had some health issues and the timing. You just got to have him here.
And let's be real. There's been administration changes. There's been a lot of things that have happened. But there is not a doubt. It is not on Brad. It's not on President Smith. It's not on me. It's not on it's we're going to get it done.
Yeah. I think that is important to note, that there is nobody at fault. There are just so many moving parts that all of those parts have to line up, and it has to happen the right way. Otherwise, you mentioned this before, why do it? If you can't honor him appropriately, if he can't be there for himself, for fans to witness that, I mean, all of these things have to come together. I don't think anybody truly believes that Marshall doesn't want to retire 88.
Yeah.
I feel like there's one guy on Twitter who keeps sketching me. I don't know if he believes it, but yeah, no, we definitely want to do it. We're going to do it the right way.
That
is going to happen. It's on the list.
It will get done. Yes.
Yep.
So let's talk about the future a little bit. Let's talk about what Marshall needs to do. I hate to say to get better, but what does Marshall need to do to get to the next level? You accomplished a lot in year one, and I'm sure there are still areas where you want to see the herd get better. So as you enter this second athletic year, where do you see the biggest opportunities for improvement?
So the first thing I'll talk about is I've challenged our coaches. Obviously, you want to win every home game and that kind of thing. I think winning home is important. I think that there's so many facts that support that and data that supports that. Last year, we won 72% of our games at home across our sports. If we'd have got the goal is 75%. If we'd have won 75% of our games, we'd have been went to a bowl game. We would have been Sun Belt champions in regular season in men's basketball. Would have been Sun Belt champions in softball. We would have had a year that may have put us in the top third of the Bubas Cup in a record year for Marshall athletics if we would have won one more game in our major sports. So if our goal is to go from 72 to 75, our goal is to win them all. But I mean, if you're realistic, you got to do that to reach your level of success. I think the energy level is different. More people buy tickets. More people show up so that we fill the venues. We fill our trophy case. And then obviously revenues and philanthropy increase when you win. So we got to win, and we got to win at home. And that's the first step, because we have a great fan base. We have great energy. We got to give them something to cheer about all the time. And so if you talk about something else we can improve getting butts and seats. We got to get people in the stadium. And so we talk about 30,000 at the Joan. We need 30,000 at the Joan. That's why we're creating all these different ways to do it. That's why we started what I call game day in Huntington. It's kind of going to be our thing. Every game day in Huntington is going to be it's going to be a rewarding experience. From the time you park your car to the time you come through the gate, to the time the fun you have, and to the time you leave. I can't do anything about traffic on 3rd and 5th. Sorry, guys. But the rest of it, we want to make sure that we bring people into the stadium. More people into the stadium, more revenue, more opportunities we get to go get the best players we can get, attract the best talent we can get. It all goes together. And then we also build the next group of the next young herd, right? We get more people in. One thing that we got to do is work on our demographics. We have we are really good and more seasoned attendees. We got a group that's like right there, but we got to get better in that 35 to 44-year-old demographic, because those are the ones with the kids. Those are the ones that are coming, and that's the next generation. My thing is, when I leave here, whenever they run me out, I want them to be able to say, we built for the future. We didn't just build for 2025 or 2026. We're building Marshall athletics for what to come. And that's one of the things we got to do. And part of that is increasing our demographic and improving that generation there that we got to go. So those are just a couple things. We got to win home. We got to get butts and seats. And we got to continue to grow that 35 to 44-year-old young family demographic. That will help us.
One important part of that cycle that went unmentioned is all the things that you're doing right now that is for the fans, makes fans want to come there. It's a more exciting time for them. But that atmosphere with more fans having fun leads to those wins, because the players feed off of that.
Yes.
And who likes a winner? Fans. So more fans are going to come yet again, and the cycle keeps going, which increases the revenue, increases the winning, increases the fun time. Winning is fun. You want to come when you're winning. So it's important for fans to get there and be that important part of that, to create these atmospheres and create those winners.
Yeah. And one thing I'll say, we are a premier G6 program with a premier brand that far exceeds the G6. I mean, Marshall is a real brand. It is a real thing. So we already have people who are interested, like corporate sponsorships, national corporate sponsors that are interested. We just got to get them over the hump. We got to bring them back. So when somebody watches our games on television and, our cameras on football shoot over to that other sideline, there need to be people over there. And they need to see that there's a passion. We need our student section filled. We need to smoke from the porch, and we need the people on the deck stand on the sideline in the field. We need to be that. One of the things I want to do, we need college game day. We need to show them that, hey, when you come to Huntington, it's different. We can do that. But we got to believe in our own brand. I think a little bit, and this is probably going to get me in trouble, but hey, sometimes we have a victim mentality. And it's they don't come back. The players don't stay, all this. Stop it. Let's say, you know what? We are truly Marshall. We are a national brand. We are a program that can succeed at this level and compete in this day and age because we know we can. And we're going to show up and rally around our team. Where we're weak, we're going to put them in the middle. We're going to herd just like the bison. We're going to walk right into the storm. We're going to put our elderly and our weak in the middle. We're protect them, and we're charging ahead. You know, my vision plan is charging toward our tomorrow today. That's what we're doing. But you got to believe it. Our fans have to believe it. You know, I mean, we need that positivity, that energy. You know, I hate it every time if we don't win. And you get on social media and you look at the comments under some of our posts and some of the things that people may say are Debbie Downers. We got to flush them. Yeah. It's okay to be passionate. You pay your money to be passionate. All good. But my mom used to tell me, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all because you're hurting the brand. You want to retain kids and get them to stay here? Talk good about them. Speak life into them. Speak life into our coaches. Speak life into our program. If we do those things, we will not sustain for 2026. We will sustain beyond because our brand is the best brand in this conference. We know it. We just got to believe it and understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one thing Russ and I have said.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Y'all know I get fired up. So it's
we're the choir here, man. So we don't mind.
Russ and I have said for years, because we're both parents, you say, you know, when you love your kids when they do well, and when they mess up, you love them even harder. And we relate that to the athletes as fans. Yes. Like, man, they're not going to win them all, but you got to love them even harder. You got to root even harder. You got to be uplifting, not pushing down. It's a lot. I choose to be happy. I choose to be a positive Herd fan. It's really easy to be a negative one. I get that. I choose to use that energy to try to elevate the brand. And I know there are thousands more like me. Unfortunately, they're the quieter ones on social media after a Saturday night loss. Yeah. We know that as well.
Yeah, we call it the silent majority. So yeah. So anyway, what else you got? This is fun. What you got?
Good.
I've got at least one more here, and okay. I'm not looking to break any kind of news. I don't want you to dig into your pocket and reveal something before anything, but you had an amazing year one with all that we've accomplished. We've talked about a lot of this stuff. What specifically would you like to accomplish, or you know that you're going to accomplish in year two?
So here's what I would like to accomplish. I would like to accomplish sellouts in all of our sports. Not for every game. That's unrealistic.
Right.
I have not seen a sellout in the Joan yet. I want that. I think we can accomplish that. I think the things we're doing for fan experience and the things like that, I think our team deserves it. They're going to play well enough to deserve it. I want to see that. If anybody went to that women's basketball championship game, that is what it's supposed to be. I mean, people were out tailgating basketball. It was great in a building with no air conditioning. Nobody cared. You know, it was in April. We were out there doing that. And I want to see that for the men's team. I want to see what the Jack can be. I want to accomplish some things. And I know we can. I know we're going to win a Sun Belt championship in something, if not multiple things this year. I believe that with everything I have. But I think if we can get our fan experience stuff off the ground and people embrace it, the energy level is something we got to do. Because I think that starts it. You know, I can sit here and say, I want to get so many 7-figure donors. I want to build something. We're working on our infrastructure right now. I don't want to necessarily build. I like to get the turf fixed at the vet. You know, I like to get that checked off the list, just like we did on the indoor. You know, I want to get air conditioning and gullets, and so our teams can practice in there in the summer the way they should. I believe we're going to do that, but that's not the tangible thing. I want is that we rally this base, we fill the stands, we bring, like I said, speak life into these programs. Because I truly believe if we get the people in the venue and we get people going in the positive direction, we're going to do something really special.
I agree, man.
And that's just kind of where I am in my heart. The work part of it, we're going to do. You know, I know our facilities are going to get better, and we're going to get them to where they're supposed to be. But I know our coaches are going to do what they're supposed to. I know our student athletes are going to be special. From our standpoint, we got to get the people that we're talking to, the ThunderCast followers and the others who are going to listen and tag onto this and get them in. I'm not trying to break news. the college athletics is simple. The blocking and tackling. We got to build it, and they will come.
Mm-hmm.
We got to provide a great experience, and we got to support our young people. And I promise you, our student athlete experience will be the best. That's one thing. If we're gonna say one thing, I guess our student athlete experience thing is going to be shored up, and it's going to be the best that anybody has from a holistic development standpoint, because I believe that's what's going to keep kids here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you heard G. You want to see a sellout at the gym. Why not week one? Why not the home opener? Right? Why not? Mm-hmm. It's the first. Everybody's starved for football. You want to go to the damn game anyway. And boy, it's a perfect time to come and take advantage of it. It's Hall of Fame weekend, and you get to take advantage of one of the most killer tailgates the whole season. So we'll take care of you from that standpoint. You just get yourself a ticket, and let's pack the place out and turn the Joan into the electric venue that we all know it can be, because we've seen it.
Yeah,
we have all seen it. So let's do that. Why not sell out the Joan for the home opener? Let's do that for G. When he wants to see it, let's make it happen. Let's start the campaign right now. Why not?
I believe we can do it. And I know Ryan Crisp and those guys are working their behind off to make that a reality. So it's a good time. I say it all the time. It's a great time to run with the herd. Mm-hmm. And we just gotta do it.
Hey, they're going to want to be there for that 7:30 kick for those new lights that Steve New and Amy New helped, and Dixon Electric and everybody that helped make that happen.
Listen, I saw it. We demoed it late last night, and so I've seen some of the stuff. It's great.
Yeah,
and it's going to be fun.
Good.
That'd be my tease. I've seen it. They work. Let's do it.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I've had my gears going for a little while since that announcement came out, man. It's just how I operate. I don't know. We got some creativity flowing around up in the old noggin right now. I got to tell you that. I'll tell you.
If you got some good ones, send them on. Hey, we're throwing it at the wall. We'll see what sticks.
We'll be in touch. I'll tell you that. I'll be in touch. Russ, you got anything else? I mean, this is so much fun. I hate to stop, but I know you're a very, very, very busy man, and we are so thankful that you've given us nearly an hour of your time as it is. But this is what this is all about. This is a great conversation, full of energy and full of looking towards the future and not dwelling on the past, while also recognizing some of the great things that we've already accomplished. Russ, you got anything else?
I do not, except for G. If you've got anything that you'd like to say to the fan base, now is your time to say it before we sign off, and then I'll take us out of here.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm glad. Thanks for that opportunity. One thing I want to say is thank you to Huntington, to the Herd Nation. It has been a busy year. There have been a lot of things that gone. We've had our challenges. We've had our opportunity, but we've had some great opportunities, and the good far outweigh anything that may have been a challenge for us. And we've overcome all of that. But Lisa, my wife Lisa, and my daughter Lori, and Tori, we are so excited and so proud to be here. We are excited about year 2. You know, we are Huntington residents now. We got in our house in March, and it is a great time when you look at not just what we got going on in athletics. You're looking at the university with another year of enrollment growth when everybody else is going down. You look at Brad's IDEA district and the new cybersecurity school. I mean, the relationships as I think our own campus relationships as strong as they've ever been. We've been very intentional about repairing some damages. We know we burnt some bridges along the way previously, and we're building those back. Whether it's with the showing our love for the Marching Thunder, or being a part of Move-In Day, or doing the photos with Cabell County Elementary Schools yesterday. We want to be a part of this community, and we believe there's so much there. The future's so bright. Not to be corny, but there's so much out there for Marshall University and Marshall Athletics. And I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to be the director of athletics here at a time where we can make a difference. And we can build, like I said, for not now, but just for 2020, 2026, 27, and beyond. Charging toward our tomorrow. Today's a real thing. And I just telling everybody, stay tuned. We got so much going. It's going to be, wait till you come to the Joan for game 1. There's so much stuff that's not even out there yet that we're doing around the stadium. Oh, man, I'm so jacked up. Get it.
You know, I think we shouldn't wait a whole nother year to do this again. This has just been too much damn fun. And You're one hell of a fun time to talk to. You always come with the energy. Always come with the energy. Rus, take us out of here.
Yeah, I'm going to say as my parting words that I've got my 2 youngest kids at Southside Elementary yesterday and did the orientation. And as we're walking out, I see Athletic Director Gerald Harrison, who had been there for that. And he's not just talking about he had a couple of athletes or some staff members there. The man himself was there. If you're in the Joan parking lots, you'll see him going around to the tailgates. Man of the people, always open to everybody. Gee, we cannot thank you enough for doing that and listening to fans, building Marshall based on some of the fan suggestions and things. We truly appreciate it. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, well, thank you. I was like, thank you.
So with that, I'm going to say whether you see us at the Jack, whether you see us at the Vet, whether you see us at the Cam, or whether you see us backing the Joan for G on home game 1, no matter where you see us, we're going to be saying, go Herd.
Go Herd. It's the ThunderCast. We will see you guys on the next one. Later.